Josh here.
And Josh here. Welcome in, everybody. Josh from 8-Bit Goonies and Josh from the Lord of Itza channel. We are excited to be doing a collaboration today. Finally, we got together. Obviously, different parts of the world. It's hard to line that up sometimes, but we have made it. So thank you, Josh, so much for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Happy to help.
I mentioned it a little bit earlier off channel, but you were the first guy I found on YouTube when I got into Sorcery. I'm fairly new to the game. I've been playing about 2 months.
Oh, okay.
Quick YouTube search. You're the first name that popped up. And I was like, I like this guy. I like this game. I think you're a great torchbearer for the game. So just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. I never thought I'd do this. I started the channel for fun, just opening boxes, and then it has evolved into this. So,
well, how did you find Sorcery? Just curious. I mean, you seem to be well versed in the game. Were you Kickstarter level or?
Yeah, I sure was. So I was very heavy into board games for a long time. So I would be backing stuff on Kickstarter just constantly. And I would never back a TCG. Never. Because they all failed. It just didn't matter.
There's so many that come through Kickstarter, man. And some of them look nice, but yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So 99% fail rate probably.
Yeah. So, but I took a chance with Sorcery. It just really appealed to me. So I backed it. Yeah. And I actually, I still have all my original stuff from the Kickstarter. I never opened any of it.
Oh, wow. So you got all the alpha boxes and stuff there. That's cool, man. Because I mean, that stuff's worth its weight in gold now, obviously. And sky's the limit on it for sure. No, that's awesome. So yeah, I actually stumbled on it. I'm a lifelong Magic player. I've played Magic for 30 years. Stumbled into the LGS. I got into Riftbound, Lorcana, Flesh and Blood. None of them grabbed me. And Magic's kind of lost its way, I think, with its universes beyond. It's Harry Potter, Final Fantasy, SpongeBob SquarePants now. So but the guy at the LGS was like, you should try Sorcery. And he's like, you want to buy a couple packs? I'm like, I'll take one of each box. So I got a Beta box, an Arthurian Legends box, and a Gothic box. I actually traded a bunch of Riftbound for it. And I haven't looked back. I've just been running since. So yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy that I found it and that I was introduced at the Card Hub. No, and it seems like it's got very good organic growth. It's a word of mouth. Players love to play the game. There's not I guess there's some, it doesn't seem to have the scalping mentality that other games, people buy boxes to open them.
Sure.
I love that. I wanted to ask you about the growth of the game that you've seen over the past little bit. You get to go to all the, in Australia, we're a slow grower down here. It's coming along. You get to go to the cons and stuff. Have you seen numbers?
Tremendous growth, especially post Gothic. It has been growing faster than at any time since I've been involved with the game. It just gets bigger and bigger every year. I think some people saw the numbers at Sorcery Con and were like, well, it wasn't quite as many as Sorcery Con Las Vegas. And it's like, guys, it was in Indianapolis in February. Not to mention, everyone was waiting on when is Avatar of the Realm. So a lot of people skipped out on Sorcery Con because they want to go to Avatar of the Realm. You know, people can only afford to go to so many of these things.
Yeah, especially with the gas prices these days, air flights are not cheap. So yes, I understand that. But no, it seems to be growing down here. I notice it in sales because I see the numbers at the store. I'm privy to a lot of back end information, and I do see what they're ordering. Where it used to be one case every couple weeks, now it's like 2 cases a week we're going through at the store. So there's definitely an uptick on all of that. So that's exciting. So I do see a bright future for the game. I had a guy ask me the other day, doesn't the meta get stale with one set release a year? What's your take on the one set a year release schedule?
So it does have its issues in terms of staleness, especially if we end up in a period where a particular avatar or deck is insanely dominant. That is a problem. It's something that Eric's Curiosa really has to focus on making sure it doesn't happen. So, we just came out of that with the Druid. I mean, Druid before Gothic, Druid all the time, right? Druid was taking the top part of many of the events. But the nice thing is, even when Druid was as dominant as it was, there were still events where an Avatar of Air would be in the top 8, or, a Battle Mage, so yes, can it be stale? Sure, if you let it get stale. But if you're willing to try other avatars, to play other decks, it really doesn't get stale because of how the game plays. Every game is so different because of the added element of the grid.
That was my response. Is I said, does the chess meta get stale?
Yeah.
Because so much of the game is on the board. So, and with the one unique per deck, you may have those bombs in your deck, but you're not going to see them every 5, 6, 7 games. You might see one of those bombs, So,
yeah,
I think it does have a lot going for it. And Magic is such an influx of product every month. There's something new, something more. You can't even let it marinate before you have to move on to the next product. So I love the release. In fact, it's given me a chance. I want a play set of every card in the game, and I don't have to worry about another set coming out. I've got plenty of time to make that happen, and I love that. So it's a I love the setup, to be honest with you. I don't mind the slow release schedule, and it gives them time to play test and things. Now, you mentioned the meta, and let's talk about the meta for a bit. The Necromancer. I saw your Necromancer video. I loved it. I think the problem, I think a lot of the problem it lies in water. What did we see? About 80% of the top 8 decks have water, with splashing like 60% air at Sorcery Con.
And that's why the Necro, right? Because you have the water shell. The water shell, the best thing to stick in the water shell, Necromancer. Although there's a good argument to be made for Imposter. But the reason you're not seeing Imposter is because it's so mentally taxing.
Yes. I haven't played Imposter yet. I've got an Imposter shell I'm playing around with. I haven't actually played it yet because it does seem a lot. The Necromancer, you're right, though. Because so many of the good water creatures want that sacrifice, or creatures on the board. And that's what Necromancer gives you. But I have seen Pathfinder water kind of rising up now.
Yes.
And so, when they've got Wuthering Heights and Thin Ice and River Rapids on their front row, it's like, what do you do? How do you get in there, And then Ruler of Thule on the backside with 4 skeletons coming through on the back end with double power. Like, I don't know. I guess, is there I hate to see erratas. Do you think they'll do anything before the next set release?
Given what they did with Arthurian Legends when we got the errata for Druid, I think, and I just think that may be the model that Eric's Curiosa wants to go with, that they will do errata when the new set is coming. So if they do that, I think it would happen just before the next set. I don't think it would be, we're going to do it in June before we kick off like the big organized play events. I think it's a slow thing, right? We only get one set a year, so it's a little bit slow. So making those types of changes, I think Eric's Curiosa is going to consider them very carefully. And if they do come, it's going to be something that's going to happen after we've had nearly a year of play. Because the nice thing about Gothic is, even though, Necro, water is very, very dominant, we're not in a place where, people can't play other things. The top deck at Sorcery Con went 8-0, and it was a Pathfinder all fire, mono fire.
All fire, yeah. No, I don't think the meta's solved by any means, and I think Necromancer can be beat. In fact, I got whooped the other night with a guy had very close to your Persecutor hate deck. brutal deck. That Arbalist gets in play on that Persecutor, and the Dragonites are going, and it's like I couldn't stick anything on the board. Everything, like, it was brutal. So it inspired me actually to go look up your deck, and now I'm building a Persecutor deck. I don't think we're solved yet by any means. And I think with the small player base too, there's a lot of room for experimentation, and not everybody has the good uniques in person either. It's very rare you come across the CJ's Necro deck in real life, to be honest with you, other than at the big
those
events.
major events.
Yeah. So I know at my locals, we get about Constructed Night actually gets pretty good. We get about 15 people show up. There's only really one store in town that runs the Constructed Nights. We're trying to grow it here at the Card Hub, but nobody has those super meta decks yet. So it's nice to. I definitely tone my play down when I go, because I want to have fun.
Sure.
But
yeah, and that's
next
what with
thing
with the decks I bring to my local events. Like, I don't generally bring the top tier stuff. I'll water them down a little bit, just like you do, because it's like, my local players, they don't have all those cards. So
no, that's it. I want everybody to have fun. So I've always played to the level of the crowd, for sure. I'll take 4 decks at different tier levels, and I'll ask around, what are you playing? What are you playing? And then that kind of lets me know what I'm playing. So yeah. But no, I wanted to talk to you about one other. There's so much good with Sorcery, but there are a couple of issues. The next issue that I did want to bring up is what I call the evergreen problem, or in Magic, the Soul Ring problem, right? Sure. It's when you get these cards that are just so good, they're staples. I think, was it 16 out of the 16 of the top decks ran Toolbox at Sorcery Con? And then obviously Ring of Morgan. When you get 4 staples like that go in every deck, you're not building a 60 card deck anymore. You're now building a 56 card deck. And that's not bad. But if we get more of these each set, and then all of a sudden there's 10 cards or 12 cards that just have to go in every deck to be competitive, I guess I see that as an issue, because it starts to stifle deck building. I don't know. Is there an answer to that? Can they nerf Toolbox? Can they create
I have some good news about the Toolbox. I can give you good news about that. Right? So the thing about Toolbox is we only have a very limited number of cards that can access your collection right now. I mean, if you really go out there and you just pull up Curiosa, type in collection, there aren't that many cards that can access your collection. And so everyone is defaulting to Toolbox, because it's the most broad, and because the other ones, like the Malleus Maleficarum, I still think that card has a huge future. It's just going to take time, more cards that it can access in the collection to make it worthwhile, or cards that can do something similar to it, to where it's like, well, you're not relying on this unique bomb coming up every game, because we know it won't. So with the Toolbox, could it be one of those type of evergreen cards that causes us a problem? Potentially. But with the Toolbox, I'm willing to wait, because we're going to get a whole lot more cards in the next, in all the sets in the future, right? They're going to start accessing the collection. And I think some of those will have the potential to push Toolbox out of that, because there'll just be other options, and they may be better for your strategy.
I think the answer is going to be more cards like Bureau of Occult Control and Legion of Gaul, things that attack the collection directly. I think that's the answer. I wish there was more effects like Bureau of Occult Control, more sites that did stuff like that, or even put that on minions as well, to where you're stifling. Because a lot of people, I mean, it seems like that's the go-to for the finisher, right? Like, I've got a Toolbox, I'm going to zap you, game over. If you could make cost 5 now or 6 now, or you have to sacrifice a minion to access your collection, something like that, I think might be the answer to. You gotta make it hurt a little bit.
Well, and I will say, let's think about this. If we had, let's say, I don't know, 10 cards that stifle the collection in this set, would we be using our collections? Or would we not be having a good time because this new mechanic's getting hosed over and over and you just can't use it?
Right.
So maybe Eric Striosa, like, we're going to give you a year to play with this. And then we're going to start messing with it.
It is such a powerful effect, though, to give you access to 10 cards that you don't have to clog your deck up with. They did it in Magic years ago with the wishes, that you could wish for a card out of your sideboard. Yes. And a lot of those got banned quite fast because they realized, oh, that gives people a lot of juice. But no, I don't think it's a problem. I just don't want to see more of these cards. Ring of Morgan, I guess, is even a bit of a bigger issue because it's so unique and it's so expensive. And obviously it can go in every deck, but at whatever the price tag, they're going for $300 here in Australia. Like, they are ridiculous. I got lucky. I've pulled 2 of them.
That's nice.
I just total dumb luck. But toolbox is, $1 or $2, whatever they are. They're cheap. You can get a toolbox, so that's not an issue on the price side of things. But when it's a unique evergreen card, that's and it just shoots that price through the roof. We'll have to see. But I hope that they think about that, because I don't want it to end up where we've got 10 or 15 auto includes in every single deck.
I think they are going to do their utmost to make sure that doesn't happen. Eric designed this game to be splashy. He wanted these unique bombs, right? He doesn't want consistency. So I'm sure he's going to do everything in his power to make it so that there are not that many evergreen cards. And if they do come about, he's going to do everything in his power to eliminate them in the next set.
And he definitely, like with things like Mimic and Swap, there's definitely answers. So it's not, honestly, I've run a lot of that stuff. So when I see a ring come down on the other side, I'm kind of excited. So
exactly.
No, I have total faith in the company as to what they're doing. I got an interesting one for you. Colors of the game, right? Do you ever think we'll see a 5th or a 6th color or element?
I don't think so, because he based it on the 4 traditional elements.
Yeah, that goes back to Greek philosophers.
I just don't see him being like, we're going to add love.
I was thinking, like, what could it be? But the plus side is, by not color coding your avatars, you could, and they could then, you can go back to the beginning of the game and still play any of your avatars across any of the new colors. So I love the avatar system because they are so universal with all of the cards. But I was thinking the same thing. What would it be? Space, or the sun and the moon, or like, there's not really a 5th element that makes sense to me. But
the only thing I could think of would be like nature. Like, if you had nature, vegetation, trees, that type of stuff, that would be the one I would think. But certainly sun and moon, that sounds like a potential too, if they were to do that. But I just don't think they're going to add it. I think because here's the thing, if they do it, you're only getting 1 set a year. So that element is going to be 3-4 sets behind by the time it hits.
The card pool is going to be a whole set to like 2 new elements in that case, which I don't know if the player base would be super happy about that.
No.
But it'd be a way to catch up with water.
And that would be the thing. But if they did do that, they'd have to make a set. This is a set that introduces this element. And I think the danger with that is, what if players are like, I don't want to play this element, and so they don't buy this set. And then financially you're like, oh no.
Because they wouldn't need to. If it was just introducing 2 new elements, they say, well, I'm a fire water player, I don't need this at all. And I can still be competitive. No, I see that. It's just one of those things, like, Magic has never added a new color. Most games don't. But it's just, I guess, the options there. And I'm not talking next year by any means. No. This could be, let's say we're 5-10 years down the road, a successful game. it could be something to just spice it up a little bit. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, who knows with what, Eric may decide he wants to do it. But yeah, I don't think it's anytime in the near future.
Wild. Yeah. Well, let's talk about reprints then. That's one other subject I wanted to talk about. Because obviously we've seen price spikes on a lot of these uniques, even from Gothic, but certainly back from Arthurian Night or Arthurian Legends. First off, are you getting stock in America for Arthurian Legends at this time?
We were, yeah. Distro was getting it for a while. They were getting little drips of Arthurian Legends, and that was something that could be purchased at the distribution centers, yes. So that was still happening. Here in the US, we're lucky because we have Team Covenant there. So even if Distro can't get it, players can get boxes at retail from Team Covenant because they have stock because of that partnership.
Our distro's out of Legends completely. We've got Beta and Gothic, no problem. We're ordering a case a week at the store and no issues with that. But Arthurian Legends, they've shot up. Again, I was buying them at about 170 Australian, which is about $100 US. Now they're almost double that here. They've just skyrocketed. So no distro at all. No stores have it. So I hope that we get some stock. But more on the reprint level, let's say 2-3 years down the road, are we going to see a master set? Are we going to see 10 staples put into a new set, something like that? Do you think that's in the pipeline?
Well, I mean, Eric already dropped that revised is coming at some point. So there is going to be a new master set because he had mentioned, yes, we're going to print a set called revised. It'll probably change the name, but basically revised. That will be the replacement for beta, essentially. My biggest concern with that set, because I think it will be a mix of the prior sets. I don't think it'll just be, it's not going to be a straight up beta print, but it's going to mix some of those other cards in. But one of the other things that Eric has said is that anything in Arthurian Legends that is specific to the Legends of Arthur will not be reprinted.
Really?
What makes that very scary is that means Morgana would never be reprinted.
Or Ring of Morgan, right?
Well, that one I'm like, that's kind of vague, right? Like, how deep is that? Like, it's not Merlin, it's not Morgana, it's not, King Arthur. The Ring is one of those things where it's like, maybe it could make its way in. But if he sticks to that, if he sticks to, no Morgana, no, the Green Knight, those cards don't get ever reprinted, I think it could get very messy.
Yeah, I mean, not that a ton of those are staples. Sir Percival, or the water, the guy that moves in the water, not Percival.
Peleus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's definitely some card. Oh, yeah, that could be interesting. But and the Green Knight is definitely a big playable card. I wonder why they're going there. I guess they do want to make some collectible aspect to the game. Obviously, Alpha. On that note, do you think we're going to get the original avatars reprinted? I'd love to get my hands on a couple of those.
I think there's a chance for the original elemental avatars to be reprinted with different art. If they get reprinted, it will definitely be with different art in the style that we have now, where the face, is kind of shadowed, so that you can't really see them. So I definitely think that could happen. And especially if Avatar of Air continues to be a force in organized play, you don't want an avatar that's, $500 or $600 in 3 or 4 years. That's never seen a reprint, I don't think. So, and they have been very open about that. They're like, it's a possibility, but that's all they're saying. But I think there's a chance, yes, with a different art that they would reprint the elemental avatars. And honestly, I would drop those in that revised set if I was going to do that. That's where I'd put them.
I think it's a great place to put them. And I think something else they could do to keep collectibles collectible, maybe they don't do foil prints of the reprints.
Sure.
Maybe you can only get your standard printings. And obviously, don't touch the curios. Don't reprint the curios. Can't do that. So, well, Josh, that's, I mean, we could talk all day, but I'll let you go. I really appreciate you jumping on. I had some artwork stuff I wanted to go through, but, we'll let you go there, and let's do this again sometime. I'd love to pick your brain about artwork. On that note, actually, I did reach out. You told me reach out to Lindsay Crummett. You thought she might be in Australia. She's actually in New Zealand, but I've been in open a line of dialogue, and she's offered me multiple paintings.
Nice.
Obviously, the ones that I like are a bit pricey because she still has Tintingale and the night one where they're all coming over the hill. It's a unique Earth card.
Dawn.
Yes.
You're
right. Dawn of Sun. Beautiful artwork. The ones she offered me that I could possibly go into, I don't see myself hanging on the wall.
And that, I think that's actually, that's a big problem with Gothic, right? Like, there's lots of great paintings in Gothic, but it's like, am I really going to put that?
Yeah, I know. Young Master Damon, I was like, boy, that's awesome, but I don't know if my wife would like that hanging on the wall necessarily. But it's great to open that dialogue. You're right. Yes. The artists are so amazing in this game. They're so accessible and friendly. I love that. I've never reached out to any artist before from a game, and this game, Lindsay has just been amazing. Back and forth, just chatting about everything. So thank you for that lead. I really do appreciate that as well. So
not a problem at all.
But again, thanks so much. Josh is on Lord of Itza. Hey, one more. What is Lord of Itza? What is Itza?
So that is a reference to Warhammer Fantasy. I was a Lizardman player, and they had cities that were named after, and Itza is actually tied to is it the Mayan culture or the Incan culture? So, but it's a city from Central America or South America, from that Mesoamerica culture. And, Warhammer Fantasy, they ripped everything off, right? Just in terms of, European stuff and even the Mesoamerican stuff. So that's what it's tied to. Yeah. So.
Gotcha. No, because I didn't see any references in Sorcery to Lord of Itza, so I'm trying to think. And I've never played Warhammer myself, but I know it's a whole nother big market out there.
Yes, it is. Yeah, very much so.
Awesome. Well, keep the stuff coming, Josh. We do love your how to play videos. They are a staple for the new players. Keep those coming for us. Love that content.
Yeah.
And look forward to your videos every couple of days, buddy. They're so good.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
As always, keep on contesting the realm.